What's going on, everybody? It's Will. Welcome to the Marvelite. It's been a very long time, and there's a lot of explanations and reasoning as to why it's just now coming out as an episode, but we'll talk about that another time. With me this week, I have Luke 1 and Luke 2. So, say hello.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I guess I'm Luke too.
Yeah, we established that a long time ago. You're Luke squared, I'm Luke the original.
Yeah, so do you guys want to go off and let people know what exactly happened with last week's episode?
A lot. There's a lot that's happened.
We had a perfect episode, which I also guest starred into. Friggin' perfect episode. Perfect. Full of laughs, full of heart, full of drama. But, someone's app failed, and we also had a Skype recorder that was recorded like in the wrong setting. So all in all, we had this perfect episode, but unfortunate string of events made it to where we just got screwed over in terms of trying to get this done. This is like our third freaking attempt at trying to do a Marvelite.
Yeah, I may put that episode up someday on my personal page if I have like an off day and I'm feeling spunky.
Yeah, what could have been.
Yeah, there's a couple what could have been, like that the 4.5 hour shit show cast.
Shit show cast.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't even on this last episode that you guys recorded. I got sick all last week and I lost my voice. I still haven't even fully retained it yet, but
yeah. There's actually like a good number of guest stars. I think Will was the only like mainstay Marvelite. We had Nick and Tim and I on the last one, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. So I think the only really carryover topic-wise, I guess we'll probably get into it, is Civil War stuff. We've gotten a lot kind of in the past week or so, because we got information. We got the trailer, which was dope. And so I think one of the things, I guess we didn't get our Marvel Luke's thoughts. Marvel Luke. His
no,
thoughts
it's Earth
on the trailer.
2 Luke.
Earth Took.
616 Luke.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, but anyways, yeah, so the Civil War trailer dropped, which is pretty awesome. I think I've watched it about 500 times.
Mm-hmm.
Only about 500 times.
Pretty small.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff happened. Still no pics of Spider-Man.
That's
Calm
probably
down,
for the
Jameson.
best, though. I mean, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, people on the internet are just really impatient, and to be honest with you, I don't even want to see him until the movie. I mean, having teasing him in the final trailer, I think would be perfect. But
yeah.
To have like a fully revealed Spider-Man is, I think, best for the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
You know, just
You can show a web or a glove or a foot, but that's like at the most that's what I see. But really, I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or better yet, have a first-person view of someone swinging and kicking into somebody, and you just end the trailer on that, and then people are like, "Oh shit!" And then the movie comes out, and then you can see them. But
oh yeah.
No, man, but people will get confused. They'll think it's Andrew Garfield. They'll think it's Amazing Spider-Man 3.
They'll think it's Tobey Maguire. They'll get so confused.
Because the first-person view, they'll think it's in canon.
Yep. Spider-Verse confirmed.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Honestly, from all of the hype, I think the most hype I've seen, like people are fans of Spider-Man. I've seen more hype and interest in Black Panther.
Oh,
From the split, solid couple seconds we got to see him. We have a glorious shot where he looks just like the concept art, and also him pulling On Your Left to Captain America.
Did you see someone?
This African dude is fast as hell.
He's fucking Kenyan.
Yeah, I was
Kenyan. He's Kenyan. Must be Kenyan.
I was like really like I was jumping out of my seat when I saw Black Panther. I think everyone was, but like that shot of him running after Bucky. I was like, oh my god, look how fast he's running.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. That is so crazy.
Like,
man, they're Black Panther is so OP.
I love it.
Like,
if they nerf him,
No,
I'm done.
I mean, like we can clearly see him kicking Bucky's ass. So I mean, he's gonna get some good fights. I think, like, he looks cool. I think my only problem, and I think this has been like speculated on a lot of things, is just that he looks like a Power Ranger just a little bit, and I think it's because the mask kind of looks like a helmet, and I think it's also just the silver lines in his costume that are, I don't know. It's just, I like him. I definitely like the way he looks. It's just whenever people kept putting up Power Ranger comparisons, I was like, oh, he does look like a Power Ranger.
I've seen the comparisons. I still don't really see it that much. I can tell it's a mask, actually, as opposed to like, because in some comics it's a mask, like a pullover like Peter has, and then some it's kind of like a helmet type deal.
Right.
Like it depends where you do, because I've seen cosplays where they do it with the helmet instead of the mask. But like I still overall like the design. But yeah, more than anything, I've seen hype. My phone just went off. I've seen a lot more hype for Black Panther, and everyone's like, no, like especially from like comic communities, like no one's. I don't really see complaints about not seeing Spider-Man. It's like no one. It was more of an afterthought because they're like, oh yeah, Spider-Man wasn't. They were like, oh yeah, so we have the Black Panther. We'll see Like we've seen Spider-Man since the better half of the past decade. We're not worried about him at this point. We're just glad he's home. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all anyone really cares about.
But I mean, Ant-Man or Giant Man's not in the trailer. 0 out of 10.
I mean, yeah, Agent 13 not in the trailer. 0 out of 10.
I mean,
no
technically
Vision,
she is
0
though,
out of 10.
So.
Oh wait, was she in the trailer?
Yeah, she's in that like room when they're walking in. Like it's like that big government room with a bunch of blue cars or whatever. Like it's Agent 13 and Martin Freeman's character.
I'm still trying to find a still of that because it was definitely a blinking.
I'll see. I'll see if I can send one like after the podcast. But
Vision unseen. 2 out of 10.
Well, he's phasing in the ground. That's why.
Yeah, someone had to tell me that Scarlet Witch was there, and then I went back and watched it like 7 more times. I'm like, oh, there she goes, jumping for a split second, and looking for another millisecond.
There's her bright red heck bolts. I can't believe I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. So you guys are both wrong. Ant-Man is in the trailer, actually. Someone had pointed that out. He's actually on Hawkeye's shoulder.
Oh, come on, man.
Wow. Yeah, because we'll see that in a 2.5 minute trailer. We're going to see freaking Paul Rudd. That's what we're looking for. Oh, not that freaking World Star ass whooping that Tony took from Bucky and Dude, he was getting stomped the fuck out. I'm actually really curious as to that scene.
And that's probably my favorite part of the whole trailer. Like, all the other scenes, I mean, they were kind of generic. Like, I had seen them before in other Marvel trailers. But that scene when Bucky and Cap are just double teaming Tony, it's like, it's a thing of beauty, really. Just seeing a robot man getting beaten down by 2 old geezers.
See, your generation sucks ass. Clink. No more selfies. Clink.
So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Registration Act and how it's going to differ from the Registration Act in the comic arc, Civil War. So, the Sokovia Accords, it is a Registration Act. I forget, like, what does it say on, like, the bottom of the Accords? It says something about monitoring enhanced individuals or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Because we can't call them freaking super people.
It is a superhero registration act. It's just not called the Superhero Registration Act. And obviously, the events of Age of Ultron really heavily, has a lasting impact. So I think that Civil War, though, is going to it's going to be a game changer, for sure, for like the future of this cinematic universe.
Right.
I really do. I think it's going to shape like all of Phase 3, because I think the events that are going to happen are really going to spin out literally into every single movie. I think you're going to see, even predicting even in Captain Marvel, you're going to see things, even that far down the line. It's just going to have a lasting impact. I believe it's going to be a great movie. I mean, the Russos they seem like they're going to knock this one out of the park, just like they did with the Winter Soldier. But yeah, I again, I I'm okay with not seeing Spider-Man
Yeah.
until the movie. What you said about just have like that first person shot just seems perfect. It would be like the perfect teaser. So
Yeah, that'd be fine. Before we actually go on to Spider-Man news, because that would have been a good segue. But there's a bit of news that came out involving. There's a little bit more details about Bucky, because this is definitely kind of a. I saw a post on Tumblr that actually said it pretty well. Captain America's movies are actually very Bucky centric when you think about it. At least the past, from what we've been shown.
why do you think that is?
I
I mean,
It's a weird.
my own speculation is because they're going to push him to be the next Captain America.
Right.
I mean, you look at Sebastian Stan is signed on for 9 movies.
Yeah. Nah, bro, they got to keep it in line with the comics. They're just fake you out, and then it's gonna be Anthony Mackie. It's gonna be Falcon.
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't.
They'd be like, suck it.
Like
Captain Falcon's back.
Yeah, like at this point, I actually wouldn't mind if Mackie was captain at this point. But like, yeah.
Or we get 2 captains.
Yeah, I mean, there could be 2
East Coast
captains.
Cap and West Coast Cap.
You can basically Marvel can have their own battle for the cow, pretty much.
Okay,
Ooh, that'd be good, actually.
Okay, I have to ask you guys something. So the other day I was on Collider Heroes, and John Campea was talking about legacy heroes, and he was basically saying that he doesn't believe that, for example, Falcon Captain America is actually Captain America. He was pretty much saying that there can only be one of the superheroes. So Steve Rogers is Captain America, or Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel. Like, you can't. He was basically saying, like, you can't do a legacy hero for some reason, or he even used Batman for an example. Like, there was that whole line where Dick Grayson was running around as Batman for a while, and he was pretty much saying, no, that's not Batman. Only Bruce Wayne can be Batman. Me personally, I completely disagree with that.
I do too.
It's being a superhero. It's not. When you're passing a mantle down, you're not just passing down a mask or a cape. You are passing down a legacy, and you're passing down something that is held very sacred, to the original person. And it's not the person that's behind the mask really that defines. It's the symbol in what that stands for and what you do as a hero. So, like, to John Campea, I completely disagree with you.
And if you're using that argument, you would even go ahead and say, like, the Flash as an example. Like, if you're going to use that argument, is Barry Allen the Flash or is Wally West the Flash? Like, it's like
Jay Garrick.
Yeah, like, if that's the case, you would say that only Jay Garrick can be the Flash because he was the first one, or Barry Allen can only be the Flash because he was the first one. I mean, no, like, it's a legacy. Yeah. Like, whoever wears it, they define that new character. Like, Dick Grayson's Batman, I still wish we had him back because, like, he was great. He was, like, I think he was probably the Batman when I started to get back into comics. Like, he was Batman, and, like...
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, that Dick Grayson run is what got me back into reading Batman again.
Yeah, like, it's great. And it's just the whole concept of you can't have a different person being Captain America because it will be distracting, whatever. It's like, no, because, like, they're defining who this person is for a new, not just a new generation, but just, like, a new, legacy. And it's, I don't know. Like, it was a very weird argument. I guess I can kind of see what he's saying, but at the same time, it's just, I don't agree.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the thing is, it's kind of like, it's a title is all it is. It's kind of like being a rank of sergeant or a general or like the president. It is a title. So, granted, there are associations that go with that title. It's still just a title nonetheless. That's why, like, even though you think T'Challa as the Black Panther, there were a bunch that came right before him. So, or like when you think of Spider-Man, you think of Peter Parker, but like the hero's name isn't Peter Parker. Like, that's why there's only a couple, like, very specific ones. Like, there's Luke Cage, and then there's Power Man. There's Jessica Jones, and then there's Jewel. You can have another Jewel, but you can't have another Jessica Jones. Like, there's another Power Man that's walking around there, but there's also Luke Cage. Luke Cage has been Power Man, but he's still like Luke Cage. They're two different things. So like, yeah, he may have started it, but he also like gave it on. So that's kind of it's a title nonetheless. So like, and in some cases, this one it's different. Like, you know, political positions and stuff. Those are just public things. Like we know, like Barack Obama is the president, and you just don't know. It's like Spider-Man. He's a hero. You don't know that he's Peter Parker. So it's like this guy is Spider-Man. All it is a title. So that's why I disagree, because like, unless it's a specific name, like you're not gonna see another girl walking around. She's like, oh yeah, no, I'm Jessica Jones, but my powers are like I can shake the earth, and you know I can laser through the sun because I have solar radiation or something. Like, you're not gonna see anyone else with that name, but you can have someone else with the same title. Is kind of the difference.
I totally agree. He was making a really weird argument, and I disagree. Yeah, I don't know, John Campea, your opinion sucks.
All right, let's settle down. No need to make enemies
so
here.
Going back to that moving back to that prior segue, there's that baby bit of news that we got about Spider-Man. What was it? They're just gonna start filming next year, and we might get some cameos, which fine.
Right. So yeah. So Sony and Marvel, obviously they made that deal to have Spider-Man in, but also that solo Spider-Man movies can also feature other characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think it was Robert Downey Jr. said that in the spring they're going to be filming some type of role. They didn't say Spider-Man, but that's really the only other movie that it could be. So him and Captain America are going to be making an appearance of some sort, whether it be a cameo or they're going to be crucial to the plot. We have no idea. I personally think it's great. It's going to be awesome to finally have a Spider-Man movie, you know, that also acknowledges the larger universe.
Right.
So and like that in itself, I'm super excited.
Actually, I think it'd be funny if they it's like it turns out maybe they do the Mustache Bros high five from Doctor Strange, and instead you have Ant-Man cameo in Spider-Man instead. I think that'd just
Bug
be hilarious. Because, you know, like, yeah, Bug Bros. Like, have the Ant and the Spider, and, like, Ant-Man's the one who kind of eases him into it. Because out of the heroes, he probably is relatively relatable to Ant-Man. To at least a little bit. Not a whole lot, but, like, you know, Ant-Man's kind of getting a grasp of being the whole father figure. Peter Parker ain't got no daddy. So, you know...
like,
and both of them are kind of new to the Avengers, but Ant-Man has a little bit more experience in like defending people and helping them. Like, it'd be actually kind of interesting to see how they would play off each other.
Like
kind of
like
bros. So I think
like if it were up to me, and I think this may have made more sense before like Winter Soldier. I actually always thought Nick Fury would have been a cool thing for a Spider-Man movie, and the only reason I say that is because it reminds me so much of the Ultimate Spider-Man run when like he runs into Nick Fury and, you know, he talks to him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I only want it just for the simple fact that I liked Samuel L. Jackson talking to Spider-Man in the Ultimate comics. I would like very much if they did that in live action too. But
that would be really cool.
You want to know what that would be like? That would be just like Piccolo raising Gohan.
Pretty much.
I can tell you that right now. That's what that would be like. And you know what? I kind of want to see that now.
I need you to raise Gohan. So keep doing what I've been doing. Yep. All right, I thought so. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go, Parker. Move it. Motherfucker, did I say stop?
So let me say this real quick. Since Iron Man and Cap are probably going to be in the Spider-Man movie, do you think that can almost confirm those rumors about Tony Stark making Spider-Man's web shooters for him?
Listen, man, we've had that conversation a long time ago, and we all know how we feel about it.
I mean,
it's a vehement no.
Yeah, I know, but there was no validity to it. Now there can actually be something there.
I'm still praying that they somehow caught wind of this podcast and like, hey, let's just give him the scholarship money and he built it himself. That guy on that podcast from that YouTube channel made a good point.
I mean, I wouldn't like it, but I mean, if they want to do that, I guess okay. Like, from what I understand,
just solo.
like Spider-Man in terms of his role in Civil War, I don't even know what his role in Civil War is. I'm still thinking at this point it's like a glorified cameo, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for what, like without
so I
a
think it's
doubt.
like if it's just that, I'm going to assume no. But if he has a bigger role in Civil War, I can almost assume like by the end of it, Tony might have just made him web shooter so he can actually swing around. And then in like the movie, he like checks up with them to see how they're working and everything, and just like, hey, I got this iron suit if you ever want to use it. Like, no, I'm good, Mr. Stark. Are you sure? It's got little legs on it to crawl along building. I can do that kind of well on my own. I don't need leg. Just put it on.
He'll just be like, well, he's like, I'll keep it in mind. There, done. One offline. We've referenced Iron Spider. Like, I don't mind Tony seeing the shoes. Like, wow, these are really good, but I can make them better. And like, and he like fixes them up and throws them to him at the end. Like, I don't mind that because they're engineers.
Right.
They're pretty darn good at what they do. But, like, I want more of kind of Peter Parker showing what he's capable. Like, he impresses Stark.
Right.
To the point where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take what you did and then optimize the hell out of it. And like, you can, intern at my lab or intern at Stark Industries, and I'll have Pepper look over you and just like different things like that. Like, if he is, it has to be like a grand, like a scientific mentor thing. I don't want him to be that big of an influence. I want him to be like an after influence, if anything else, because Stark is their golden boy. Because Iron Man made them bank, and they haven't let it go since. That's a smaller gripe I've realized throughout the Marvel movies, but like, it's kind of something that we got to measure up and deal with. It is what it is. But yeah, like, Luke, you got any thoughts on it?
Oh, you meant yeah.
I was.
This is why we need a number
I should not have said that. I should not have said 616. What do you think?
Okay. All right. So I would maybe be okay with in the Civil War movie if maybe Peter doesn't really have, like, he has web shooters, but maybe they're not very good. They're just a prototype, and maybe Stark is like, hey, let me take a look at them for you. I can make some improvements or something like that. I would maybe be okay with something like that. But as far as Stark just making them and be like, here you go, bud, like, no, see, again, that's shorting the character's intelligence, and I think hopefully they will have learned their lesson by now to not short us on that, because that is something we have yet to really see, is Peter's intelligence and his intellect in the movies. I mean, they alluded to it way better in Amazing Spider-Man than they did in the Sam Raimi trilogy, but they still really didn't do it in either franchises.
Yeah.
At least not to what I want to see, anyways. So, but like I said, have him make the web shooters. If Stark does it, I think it's lazy. I mean, it is a way to connect it. Obviously Marvel likes to really connect their universe, but I don't think that that's necessary for this particular character. Peter is plenty smart enough. Like,
Yeah.
he's even if he doesn't have the resources, I mean, he can go out and get them, or he can make those resources. So now, what would be interesting maybe is if the Spider-Man movie, he gets that scholarship or whatever and interns at for Stark Industries, and maybe he creates them there.
Yeah, you can do
like
that.
like in one of Stark's labs or something. That would be cool. Like, I would be okay with that. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I have to say about that.
Yeah, if I have any, like, I have this really weird inkling, and it's because of the writers they picked for this movie. I'm a little bit concerned. Is that they got the guys that did the Vacation reboot, and I heard that did really, really bad. But I guess it's a slightly different genre, going from a comedy reboot quel thing to kind of a small town superhero flick. Like, hopefully the writing improves. So I am kind of worried about Spider-Man being one of the weaker films in the MCU. But I mean, we'll see by the time 2016 rolls around. We'll see what they do, and kind of moving from the thought of one flop to the not flop of Fantastic Four 2 because it got removed from Fox's lists.
See, like, the thing about Spider-Man is that, like, the general audience just don't know the difference. I mean, most people are completely clueless that there are two different franchises. You know, some people think The Amazing Spider-Man is still connected to the Raimi trilogy for some reason.
Well, nope.
I mean, I'm hoping by 2016, you know, this will be marketed enough as its own separate brand from the other two franchises, you know, that people will be able to catch on and say, okay, yeah, this is you know, connected to the larger Marvel universe. You know, this is not something where you can't interact with these other characters, you know. So I'm just hoping that people can see the difference and are not completely burned out, you know, of Spider-Man by then. I'm hoping that it does big numbers, and I'm hoping that the movie is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because if not, that's like strike three for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so.
Well, we wouldn't see
and obviously Kevin Feige knows better. He knows better than to give us a bad Spider-Man movie. I mean, Kevin Feige's even expressed multiple times about how he's very displeased with every Spider-Man movie that has been made so far. Like, he has not liked any of them.
Damn.
So, yeah. Yep.
But so you want to keep talking about flops? You want to jump over Fox flops?
Do they make anything else but how
That
flops?
whole I'll get back to you on that. Shit, what did they have that's good?
Days of Future
Empire's
Past,
good. Okay, the first season was good. Yeah, but X-Men wise, the first X-Men was fine. But yeah, so we got news about Fantastic 2, or don't we? Because it's not happening. They moved it from their. It got removed from their slate list. It's like, well, no shit. Is that movie still getting released, like on DVD?
Oh, what? Fantastic?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume if they want to make more money,
the only
off
chance
of
to get as much money as they can, but.
I mean, within a month it'll probably be in like the $5 bargain bin at Walmart, but
that's still too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $5 for that movie.
Even Man of Steel is still $3.
That crap deserves to be.
We can go. And here's the thing. And I didn't hate Man of Steel. We can go lower for Fantastic.
Fantastic deserves to be pirated. Like, I don't think any movie other than Fantastic deserves to be pirated.
That means a lot. Like they'll give them out as Halloween and Christmas gifts. It's like, ugh, the hell, put this back.
Yeah, so it seems it seems like Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara have separated themselves almost completely from that franchise. I know Michael B. Jordan expressed interest recently in playing a superhero again. Like, he would love to return, not maybe as the Human Torch, but just playing a superhero in general. And to be honest with you, how big of a flip off would that be to Fox if Marvel could actually get Michael B. Jordan to play a role in something?
When I heard about that, my joke was like, dude, just get Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara to be Cloak and Dagger. That'd be the biggest fuck you.
Yeah, I think it definitely would be.
That'd be plus people could get Cloak and Dagger finally.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't someone joke about that actually? In Jessica Jones, didn't Cloak and Dagger get referenced or something?
Did they?
I'm not sure, dude. I know Namor got referenced of all people.
Really?
So,
he did?
Yes. Apparently it's very subtle. I didn't personally hear it because I don't think anybody freaking did. But I think it was like one of the last episodes. Kilgrave was talking about. I believe it was Kilgrave. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and fact check this. But from the people, I think it was some channel on YouTube was doing an Easter egg video, and they pointed it out. I can't remember who it was.
Mr. Sunday Movies?
I don't know if it was Mr. Sunday or who it was, but I definitely know that he pointed out that there was a piece of dialogue where they were talking about a man coming out of the ocean, and he looked really weird.
I think I do know what you're talking about. I just didn't think of Namor when I thought of it.
Yeah, I might.
What did you? What did
think
you?
It's
okay,
the last
what
one.
episode was that? Okay,
I think
what
he was.
were they talking about?
He must have just been talking about. I think it was either the last one or the second to last one. They're just talking about, I think, the nature of people with their abilities and stuff. And I think it was like I'm almost positive Kilgrave does mention it. Like, he says something about, oh, if someone could come out of the ocean, and I have to go back and remember, but I do remember something like that. I just didn't think of Namor.
Right, and of course, we all know that Namor doesn't fully belong at Marvel, so I think that they can allude to his existence and they can reference him. Obviously, you have his company Oracle is in the MCU. It's referenced all throughout. If you pay attention, Oracle is in Iron Man 2. It's actually in the Avengers movie. I think it's even in the Iron Man 1 and 2 actually. So they do mention Namor in those, in some capacity like that. I know at the end of Iron Man 2, you can see a dot on the map behind Nick Fury where Atlantis is in the ocean. So I think they can do, little things like that, but I don't think they can just go full out and say Namor exists or the Submariner or anything like that, because I think Marvel has certain things of him, of his world, but they don't have full rights to do whatever they want with him because Namor is actually split between three or four different companies. It's really weird. But I know that Fox didn't. I think Fox didn't. Didn't they claim recently to have rights to the character? I thought there was some controversy behind that.
Well, we don't really want Namor, so unless he's.
Same here.
I want Namor.
I'd want him as a villain for maybe an Illuminati or a Black Panther. If we get a Black Panther sequel, I wouldn't mind him.
That would be
kind of
cool.
That'd be kind of funny. They just
you know what? I think it would be cool if they could do something like the Invaders or something. No, they could really just do a version of the Invaders. Especially having Captain America flashbacks of the war or whatever. You could even include John Hammond in that. Which they already had a John Hammond reference in the first Captain America movie. The original Human Torch. So I'm even if they don't get the rights back, Fantastic Four, they could still do the Human Torch if they wanted to, and they could still call him the Human Torch too. So. That they could do Captain America, Howard Stark, John Hammond, the Human Torch, and Namor, the Submariner. They could do those four if they wanted to, and it doesn't even have to be a movie or anything. They could just have really cool action scenes and flashbacks, or Captain America could talk about how he fought alongside this guy who claimed to come from the ocean or whatnot, and talked about the city under the ocean, and you could you just do stuff like that, and I would be happy.
I'm just imagining them now changing the name of the Human Torch. Who's this? He is the Man Flame. It's homophobic. No.
Yeah, you could easily you could easily have Infinity War. Someone's like, man, there's a purple man in the sky. This is really weird. Talk about weird. I fought with a fish man in World War II. You don't talk to me about strange shit, boy.
T'Challa just looks over fish man. One of those, just a coffee shop conversation between Cap and T'Challa. It's wait, so you fought the ugly ass?
Wait, you know him? Yeah, dude's an asshole.
Kind of looked like Vegeta. Yeah, it's how has he been alive this long? I thought we got rid of him. Yeah, a freaky fish guy and a bunch of fish people.
I'm so sorry. I actually apologize. I just remembered his name's Jim Hammond, the Human Torch, not John Hammond.
John Hammond from Jurassic World.
I started thinking about that. I'm like, wait, no. I have those for some reason. I have those two mixed around in my head. I was thinking Jim Hammond, but I was saying John Hammond because they sound so similar from Jurassic Park.
John Hammond.
I apologize.
They brought back Richard Attenborough to be the Human Torch. Welcome to Marvel Park.
My God. So, anyways, going back to our original thought of this,
we talking about Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick, man. That's not. I don't think ever coming back. Who knows what they could be doing right now? They could have took it off of the slate temporarily just to reassess the franchise and decide exactly what they're going to do.
What franchise?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, it's just better to sell the rights back to Marvel and let them take a crack at it, because they're going to do way better than you guys have ever even dreamed of doing. So
get that Exiles TV show we've all been waiting for.
Now, I know that there had been talk about maybe possibly including them in the X-Men movies, but you guys kind of, backed out of that a while ago. I mean, they kept changing their minds. They're like, well, this Fantastic Four movie, it's going to be set in the X-Men universe, and then later down the road, they're like, well, we don't really know. It's not necessarily going to be connected. There's not necessarily going to be a crossover. And then remember how, like, months before the movie came out, we got confirmation, quote unquote, from the producers and the director saying that that there's going to be references to the X-Men, and there's going to be references to, like, Annihilus and all these other characters, and that just didn't happen. There were zero references to any of those characters. They were also going to allude to Galactus and things like that, but yeah, just none of that happened. And then after the movie was released and all that negative feedback started coming in, they were like, okay, never mind, that's not connected to the X-Men universe at all.
Yeah, they're like, it's an alternate Earth, I think is what they said at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, what does that mean? I mean, DC is an alternate universe to Marvel, so I mean,
yeah, But shit, this world is an alternate universe to Fantastic Four, so what?
Yeah,
I'm certain there's a guy out there walking around named Johnny Storm.
It's just so funny, the flip of the coin, just like...
You could be Mexican. Wherever it lands, that is what our canon is.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, no, when your marketing team has to find its way over to Denny's, not go to Denny's, because no one goes to Denny's. You end up at Denny's. When your marketing team ends up at Denny's, you're shit out of luck. You're like deep in the water.
To be honest with you, I'm glad that this is happening. Well, I'm glad that it's not happening now. So,
what, Denny's? Or Fan Force 2? The Denny's stuck around. The Denny's can survive anything. They're like the cockroaches of breakfast franchises.
Oh, okay. We're taking stabs at corporate brands here, I guess. So,
of course.
Why not attack Denny's? The only place where you can go at 2 a.m. and watch fights break out.
Meanwhile, at the Denny's, because the Waffle House burned down.
I see two things every time I go to a Denny's, and mind you, I hardly ever go to Denny's. I only go to Denny's after the bar, and we want to go get some late night food.
Exactly. See, you ended up at Denny's, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. But every time we end up at Denny's, I see two things: I see fights, and I see people puking.
Nah, dude, that's just called the greeting. IHOP has diversity. Waffle House has truckers, and Denny's has fights and puking. So nothing has changed. So while we're kind of on our old roast game, you know who else is? James Gunn. He burned the hell out of that El Mayimbe information that we got the other day.
Yeah, so I know that we kind of talked about this earlier, but yeah, so El Mayimbe, him and his scoops, man, his scoops. So this guy had the audacity to make a video saying that I have 4 sources, mind you, sources that confirm that the original Captain Marvel from the Silver Age is going to be Star-Lord's father. Yeah, so first off, Carol Danvers isn't obviously the first Captain Marvel. It belongs to Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, Marvel, and they were, he was saying his 4 sources had confirmed that it supposedly had been with 100% accuracy in the past on Marvel movies. So this guy El Mayimbe trusted these sources, so he with enough confidence to tell the entire world that this was 100% accurate. So then, a few days later, it wasn't even a few days later, it was a day later, James Gunn goes on Facebook and he's like, not true. He's like, not even close. So he actually wrote this really thoughtful letter to the public explaining what was going on. He didn't spoil anything, obviously, but he can rest assured that Captain Marvel is not Star-Lord's father. And it's something, like, in hindsight, I guess, I could see it making sense, but I don't think. I think that James Gunn is going for something a little more radical, something that no one's going to see coming. I think that has been his plan from the beginning, and it's not something that we're just going to simply be able to guess. So I think people should really just stop speculating and stop trying to spoil it. I mean, James Gunn's right. He even said in that letter, why would you want to spoil something? Like, why would you want to spoil a plot to a movie before it even comes out? And actually, El Mayimbo got on Collider Heroes with John Campea and John Schnepp, and had the audacity to say that James Gunn was salty about it.
And what's funny is SourceFed Nerd actually used him as a reference. I think one time. I think it might have been on that. It was on something, and I heard it because they're like, yeah, and we actually hear from over at Heroic Hollywood. I'm like, oh shit,
no,
they don't know. Well, I actually had a theory. Yeah, I had a theory back when before this got speedily debunked, as to how they could have spun it, and I thought it was a funny way to introduce a Captain Marvel. And Luke's heard it, but I do want to share it because I think it's at least funny. And it was that so they have Captain Marvel be Star-Lord's dad, and in the comics, when Star-Lord was on a solo run before the before Secret Wars happened. Oh, we gotta get to that at some point next week. But because boy, I have some shit to talk about. But and it was the way they could have spun it out is that they kind of put Marvel in the same position as Spartax, where he is kind of not exactly. He does have a lot of control, but maybe he's not the same ruler. Or Jason of Spartax, like he's kind of in a similar position where he has a half daughter who turns out to be Monica Rambeau, and you could have spun that out into Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
yeah, because Star-Lord's half sister is visibly like
space black.
I suppose is the best way to describe it. Space black.
Yep.
And yeah, so we're actually getting pretty close to time. DC Luke, you got any thoughts about the whole?
I mean,
James
like,
Gunn
the more I look into
smackdown?
it, like, he did this whole Periscope thing and everything, where it was clear that he was, like, shooken up by James Gunn, taking it to him. Like, I think Nick and I actually listened to it because he was, like, making, like, flan or something. He was, like, talking about all the scoops that he broke, and he's like, okay, I did all of this, okay? Like, I broke all of these, and, like, it was clear that the dude, like, was fucking, like, upset because, like, he worked so hard to get this scoop, and then James Gunn just said nah. And it's just like, and I think the actual Twitter account now, like, they apologized to James Gunn and shit, and it's like, how bad this dude must have felt, the fact that he had to apologize for something that he thought was real, or at least I don't know if he thought it was real. Maybe he just was saying shit. Point is, I can't help but feel bad for the guy, just like after he made a video, after he did all this crap, all this trouble he went through, just for James Gunn to tell him, no, that's not true, you're stupid. It's like,
I wonder if he took that video off of the internet, which I honestly think he should, because he's 100% wrong. I can't believe that he had the nerve, even after James Gunn said no, that's not true. He still went on that show and basically was like, you mad bro? Like, he sent that tweet saying you mad bro to James Gunn. I'm like, stupid. Man, what a journalist, like, really, quote unquote.
Like, I'm bad for the dude, I mean, like, come on. He's just
so much in denial, dude. Like, he thinks he's always right.
It's like, it's not only that, it's just the idea that, like, out of the time that he's gotten stuff wrong, this is the one thing where I think he legitimately hurt his, like, credibility. Like, he may have even destroyed it, but, like...
Oh, I know a bunch of people blocked him on Twitter after that. So, yeah. Which is okay. He actually has me blocked on Twitter.
You get what you deserve, Mayimbe.
Yeah.
All right. Good old IML maybe. Well, I think that's a pretty good stopping point for this week. There is news regarding Secret Wars, which we will cover next time. Because, oh boy, I feel
Don't
some
worry.
heat a burning within
Don't
me.
worry,
Yeah, I don't even want to get in on that one.
Yeah,
there'll be a joke on
we'll
Super
go-
Friends. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get in on that one next time. Yeah. So, all right. So this has been Marvelite Podcast. With me, I have 616 Luke.
All right, I guess we'll see you next week, scrubs.
I won't be
And
back.
Super Friend Luke.
Well, I mean, maybe it all depends if the
Oh, you're not coming back?
incursions are still going on, and they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Hybrid Network. We will see you around.